The definition of race, I mean, there's a conventional wisdom on the meaning of race, a scientific explanation of race. And the video documentary, Race, the Power of an Illusion, is something I want you to watch because it does a very outstanding job of dealing with these questions. We also will look at videos that demonstrate how racial identity is socially constructed. How is the concept of race socially constructed over time and space? How do individuals and groups define their racial identity, and on what basis do they make claims to racial identity? How are young children socialized into identities based on skin color? And how does this impact their attitudes towards skin color differences? We have a couple of videos called the doll experiments, and that are very interesting and very revealing, very instructive to watch. One actually is a replay of a video that was done in the famous Brown v. Board of Education case, where the social scientist Kenneth Clark was able to demonstrate to the court that segregation of children based solely on the color of their skin had harmful psychological effect. And he demonstrated that with an identical doll test, one of white and the other one, the color was black. And he asked kids, how did they identify with them? Which one was beautiful? Which one was intelligent? Which one was the bad doll? And in the 1954, it was quite revealing that African-American kids had a very difficult time with the test. They did not like the doll that was the same color as they were. They thought that the white doll was more beautiful, more intelligent, and so forth. Well, the video that we're watching now is a replay of that in contemporary American society. And it's very revealing because it shows the intergenerational effects of socialization. The African-American kids who are in the contemporary video think very differently about race, very differently about skin color. They have a much more positive conception of their own skin color as well as their own phenotypic traits. And it demonstrates how much has changed since 1954. The second one is really about perceptions of skin color in Mexico and the ways in which very young children define color, the meaning it has for them, and the attributions that they make regarding dolls of different color. Their perceptions and their responses are much more akin to what happened in 1954 with African-American kids. They clearly attribute negative traits to the doll that is of a darker skin. Even when they think that the doll looks like them, they have a very difficult time attributing positive traits to the dark-skinned doll. That is an interesting video when you compare the two. One showing intergenerational change over time with African-American kids, the other showing that in some places, perceptions of skin color and race are still much like they were in 1954. What is the role of racial ideology in individual and collective definitions of national identity? There's a good study, and we will make sure you have access and a link to that, called The Next America by the Pew Research Center. And what the Pew Research Center did was to really look at the demographic changes that our nation is undergoing. And we are in the midst of the most diverse ethnic and economic diversity in terms of immigration in the nation's history. But these transformations have engendered a lot of fears as well as a lot of concerns about the nature of American society, American identity. How will these new immigrants impact the nation? There are significant segments of the society who think that their culture and religion and ways of life will be displaced by the new immigration. Others think very different about it and think that this kind of immigration, like previous waves of immigration, will enrich the society in so many ways. We'll also look at how do racial beliefs shape attitudes toward immigration, nationality, and assimilation.